Hi and welcome along to AFTV. Some breaking news. That actually, we got this breaking news whilst we was doing the Bias Premier League show live, hence why I got my Boohoo Man gear on still. Eddie Nketiah, who's been linked with various moves. We all know that he was linked with a move to Marseille, which fell through. There were then linking him with a possible move to Bournemouth. That fell through. They went and decided to sign Evan Nilsson. And then there's been further links linking him with a move to Crystal Palace and also Nottingham Forest. And it looks like Nottingham Forest are the team to make the first move to try and sign Eddie Nketiah. Breaking news exclusively broken today by David Ornstein, who says that Nottingham Forest are working on a deal to sign Eddie Nketiah from Arsenal for £25 million, including add-ons. Their opening bid, however, has been rejected, but talks are continuing to sign him. He's their top striker target, Nottingham Forest. Arsenal are looking for between 30 to 35 million pounds. Crystal Palace retainer interested in him, but there's been no current talks between Crystal Palace and Arsenal. That is according to David Ornstein from The Athletic, who broke that news exclusively earlier on. Is this going to get done? Certainly it's looking like Nottingham Forest are very serious about this, because they put that bid in for £25 million plus add-ons. And as David Ornstein said, that's been rejected. But very significantly, he says that talks are continuing. So it's not dead in the water. It's not a thing where it, like, you know, it's just been rejected out of hand and there's going to be nothing further to this. Nottingham Forest are pushing to get this deal done. Now, we know that Nottingham Forest has had, problems with injuries and strikers. Chris Wood scored on Saturday. But when you look at the profile of the strikers that they have, they're both very similar. They're both big guys, strong, good in the air. They don't really have a striker of a similar profile to Eddie Nketiah, who is a quick player and getting behind that sort of fox in the box type player and scores goals like that. So Nottingham Forest, this is a signing that really, really interests them. And if Arsenal can pull this off and he gets sold to Nottingham Forest, then their decision to not, give in to low bids from Marseille will be vindicated. Because remember, Marseille, first of all, came in with £15 million. That was rejected. They took it up to around about 20 million. Then it was sort of 20 million plus with add-ons, which would have took it up to 25. And Arsenal stood firm by it and said, no, if you want Eddie Nketiah, we want 30 to 35 million pounds for him. And they're standing firm on that. And opening bid, as I said, from Nottingham Forest, rejected, and they're standing firm on that. Also in this equation, will Crystal Palace try and come in and make a move for Eddie Nketiah? Another team that are a little bit light in the striking front. They've got Odsonne Edouard, they've got Nketiah, but Nketiah's been away at the Olympics. He's still got to come back. But they are a little bit light when it comes to that centre forward. Now, Eddie Nketiah, I think, by a lot of Arsenal fans, is very sometimes underrated. I know he's not your regular starter for Arsenal. I know he's probably, well, I think we can see that he's not going to be that guy going forward for Arsenal. However, he's a very talented player. I do feel if he goes to a team like a Nottingham Forest or he goes to a team like a Crystal Palace, I can see him doing very, very well. Remember, it's the same Eddie Nketiah that broke into the England squad not so long ago. It's the same Eddie Nketiah who scored a hat-trick. Didn't he score? I'm sure he scored a hat-trick against Forest, right? He scored more than one hat-trick in the Premier League. If he gets a run of games and he plays week in, week out, I am personally convinced that he will do well for a club. That club's just not Arsenal at this moment in time, because not going to get those run of games. But I do believe it would be a good signing for Nottingham Forest. And also, when you see some of the money that has been shelved out for certain players in this transfer window, I think, and I stand by it, and I know I've been criticised for it, including Turkish, who blamed it as my fault last time why Marseille didn't sign Eddie Nketiah. I think that 30 to 35 million pounds is good value for a player of Eddie Nketiah who's been at Arsenal Football Club. I think that's a good deal for a club like Nottingham Forest. So it's going to be really interesting to see if Forest can get near to that valuation. And the other interesting thing, as I said, will any other club try to come in and make a move as well? As I said, Crystal Palace is that other club that have been showing a lot of interest in him, but at the moment, still looking like Forest are the ones that are leading the race to sign him. And remember, we haven't got very long left now of this transfer window. The window shuts on the 30th of August. So I think we're going to see a lot of movements on players that could move away from Arsenal, like Eddie Nketiah, like Aaron Ramsdale, like Jakub Kiwior. I feel over the next week, we're going to see teams now trying to make their move to try and get these deals done if they are to tempt those players away from Arsenal Football Club. And Eddie, if he goes, I'll feel a little bit sad. I'm not saying that we should keep Eddie. I know it's time to move on from Eddie Nketiah. But anytime you've got a player that's come through the academy that's not quite made it at the club, you've got to feel a little bit sad. You know what I mean? He's been working and trying all his career to get into that Arsenal first team, and he's just not quite made it. However, when you're a footballer, it's about having a career in football. And if he can get a move to Nottingham Forest are a good club. They're a Premier League club. They've got great support. And I think that would be a fantastic move for Eddie Nketiah, you know, playing week in, week out at Nottingham Forest. So we'd love to get your guys' opinion on it. Are you of the opinion that, you know, Arsenal stop saying it's 30, 35 million and just take the 25 right now and just move on and let's get some signings done or get another forward player in? Or are you like, no, Edu's right. Hold out for the right and proper money for a player like Eddie Nketiah. He's worth 30 million and that's it. And if you don't pay that, he ain't going nowhere. And also what I'd like to know from you guys is if we sell Eddie, that leaves us a bit light in the striker department because then now we're going to two strikers, Havertz, Jesus. Does that mean we go out and get another striker? Does that mean we have to go out there and get another wide player? Really, really interesting. But once again, the breaking news today is exclusively broken by David Ornstein, is that Nottingham Forest are working on a deal to sign Eddie Nketiah from Arsenal for £25 million, including add-ons. Our opening bid has been rejected, but talks continue. He's Nottingham Forest's top striker target. Arsenal want 30 to 35 million pounds. Crystal Palace retainer interest, but no current club-to-club talks. That's according to David Ornstein from The Athletic. He's pretty accurate on these things. Looks like Eddie Nketiah could be on his way out of Arsenal, but at the moment, the bid has been rejected. Thanks for watching the show. Don't forget to check me out tomorrow morning. I'm sure I'll have more news on this on Transfer Daily. Thank you.